everybody. Let us start today the concept of homothetic functions. Sorry. So it is a monotonic transformation of a homogeneous function. Monotonic means order preserving. So it preserves the orders, rules, etc. So it is common in consuming theory. Now, homothetic function keeps the original properties of homogeneous function, like input ratios, slopes of the curves, etc. So the basic is maintained in homothetic functions, like in say in production function, like input ratios, then slopes of the curves it maintains. Then indifference curves in consumer theory, because we know that in consumers' behavior, the indifference curves and isoquants in production function maintain constant ratios of marginal rate of substitution and marginal rate of technical substitution along the straight line from the origin. So if we remember the indifference curves, two commodities have the indifference curves and the budget line. So the line coming from the origin, it is also called the income consumption curve in consumers theory, and the isocline in production economics, where it joins the point of least cost combinations. Now, the ratios of marginal rate of substitution in case of consumers theory, consumers behavior, and MRTS along the straight line from origin, MRTS in production economics, it is there maintained. It does not depend on the absolute value of the inputs. So it always depends on the ratios, not on the absolute value of the inputs. The homothetic level curves may not be equally spaced. So in homothetic functions, the curves may not be equally spaced. In homogeneous function, they are equally spaced. So suppose in production economics, a farmer wants to raise his production by 10% more. So in that case, the isoquants will remain same. But in case of homothetic function, it may not maintain the space equally. The expansion part is a straight line. So I have told about expansion part earlier, that in production economics, the isocline is we call it an expansion part, because it passes through those points where marginal rate of technical substitutions are equal to the tangent of the isoquants. Similarly, in consumers' behavior, that the tangent of the budget line equal to the tangent of the indifference curve there. So through those points, the line passing through those points are expansion part, and the expansion part is a straight line, so it is always a straight line, and homogeneous functions are subsets of homothetic functions. So it is said that homogeneous functions are subsets of homothetic functions and have additional constraints. Now let production function, so Q is the function of capital and labor. So Q is a production, K is capital, and L is labor. If capital and labor are raised by T times, so what level we apply it in the field, in production, suppose now both the inputs are raised by t times, maybe 5 times, maybe 6 times, like that, t times. Then Q will also be raised by t times. So if it is a homogeneous of degree 1. So if the function is homogeneous of degree 1, so in that case, the output Q in a production will also be raised by 10%. Now let the function has another form. Suppose the function production is explained by capital and labor, but form is different. Suppose the form is different. So alpha log k plus beta log L. So means it is a new function which is influenced by k and L. So this is k to the power alpha and L to the power beta. If it is raised by t times or t factors, then t zkl is equal to tk to the power alpha into tl to the power beta. So if we simplify, it is t to the power alpha plus beta and k to the power alpha L to the power beta. Now alpha plus beta is greater than 1. So new function has preserved the order of the homogeneous function. So the new function has preserved the order of the homogeneous function. So in homogeneous function also, it is like this, as we have discussed at the very beginning, that monotonic means it preserves the order. But it is homothetic. But it is homothetic because although it is the function of capital and labor, but t is not to the power 1, but t is to the power alpha plus beta. So it is the case of homothetic function. So the new function can be written as fkl is equal to zhkl. Let us continue. So hkl is a homogeneous function of degree k, while the new function zkl is a monotonically increasing function. So both the functions are not equal. So hkl is a homogeneous function that we assumed earlier and of degree k, while zkl is a monotonically increasing function. Now let us take the function x square plus y square. The two variables are x and y, so function is x square plus y square. So let us multiply it by a constant t. So in that case, x square plus y square is equal to tx square plus ty square is equal to t square hxy. So it is a homogeneous function of degree 2 because we have raised the inputs by t times, and we have seen that it is ultimately it is t square hxy, t square multiplied by the function. So it is homogeneous of degree 2. Now let us take another function. Let fxy, that means function is x square plus y square whole cube. So if we raise both the inputs by t times, tx square plus ty square whole cube is equal to, the simplification is t square x square plus t square y square whole cube is equal to, if we take t square common, t square x square plus y square whole cube, this is equal to, that is a into b whole cube, a cube into b cube. the t square cube into x square plus y square cube. So is equal to x, t to the power 6 into x square plus y square cube. So it is the new function is the function of xy. Now it has maintained the variables. So xy is the variable, influencing variable or inputs we have. But it is homothetic as it is a monothetic transformation of fxy. There is sense of basic form. So our basic form was x square y square. Now the basic form has been changed to x square y square whole cube. So it is not a homogeneous function, it is a homothetic function. Now there is a schematic diagram. So in consumer's behavior, if you remember consumer's behavior, two consumers say buying two commodities Q1 and Q2, and indifference curve is I0 and I1. This is the original indifference curve and this is the second indifference curve after monotonic change, shift. So in this case, if it is homogeneous, then slope will be constant. The slope of the indifference curve, first indifference curve and second indifference curve will be same. And this same distance will be maintained. Say suppose the consumer wants to increase his satisfaction by 10% or 3% or 15% like that. So he has increased the input level, commodity level. Accordingly, it has shifted. So this shift is same, distance is same. And this point AB, these are the point of maximum satisfaction of the consumers. So combination Q1 and Q2 in the first case, this combination gives the highest satisfaction, maximum satisfaction. So he has increased. Suppose his income is higher, so he has increased the percentage of Q1 and Q2, and the indifference curve has shifted. So this time, the combination of goods to Q12 and Q22, it is at this point. Now, the slope, this is the point where slope of the indifference curve and slope of the budget line, consumer's budget line is same. So the curve or the line joining these points is called income consumption curve. Okay, income consumption curve. So this phenomenon we get in consumers' behavior. Now in production, where we get homothetic situations, it is the monotonic transformation. Distance may not be equal. Suppose shift from point A to B and B to C. So B to C distance is less than A to B. So in this case, it is the homothetic function. It is a case of homothetic function. The sense is not equal. And then there will be sense of basic form also, as we have seen earlier. So here also there will be sense of basic form. So in this case we find that in production generally we find a rational zone and irrational zones. That means within this point D, E, F and point D1, E1, F1 when you join. So this is the rational zone in the sense that the marginal rate of technical substitution is possible in this zone. But beyond D, beyond E, beyond F and also down, then beyond D1, E1, F1, the MRS is the marginal rate of substitution is negative. That means one good, that means the input cannot be substituted for the other in this outside this zone. So they are known as irrational zone, and only this is the rational zone. So here this marginal rate of substitution is equal to the tangent of the isocos line. This is called the IC means is the isocos line. So they are equal. So this point is also called the least cost point of least cost combination, or highest profit, point of highest profit, optimum profit. So if this much of X and this much of Y are applied in the field, then the profit will be the highest. So in the next time, so if he increases his input, the X and Y, then his new indifference, the isoquant will be IS2, and his isocos line is this ICL. So at this point, the profit will be the highest or optimum. So this way, farmers, the producer can go on increasing his output by increasing his input, but there will be one point where both the line will meet at a point. So these lines where the marginal rate of technical substitution is 0, a line joining this is called a ridge line, border line, and here also it is called a ridge line. So because at this point MRTS is equal to 0. So both these lines will join at a point, suppose it is P, and this point is known as von Neumann point. So this is the highest maximum point of maximum production. So beyond this it is not possible, because if it's land or other capacities in the industry, other capacities are limited. So at the most, production may go up to the level of P. So this is the von Neumann point. So within this, the substitution is possible. So producer can go on increasing his output up to maximum to the level of P. So in this case, it is the monotonic transformation, and distance may not be maintained between the two isoquants, and there is change of basic form of the production function. So with this, we have concluded the homothetic function. So thank you for watching, and please share and subscribe. Thank you.